Good whenever you're watching this. Hope everybody's well. Not legal advice. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and whatever else you want to do with it. Show it to your pets, etc. I wanted to do a brief video today. I think tonight I'm doing a live stream with Mr. JR. So accordingly, I'll try to keep this brief. Basically, going to discuss a little bit about the SEC, Alpine, and some other stuff, but very briefly. Before I get started, again, this is not legal advice. Like, subscribe, as I repeated. I tried to make a belt out of watches this morning. I found it to be a complete waste of time. Anyway, so this past week, Friday, I think it was Friday, Thursday, something like that, there were fines that came out from the SEC against Goldman Sachs, I think, for some type of ongoing misconduct over multiple years. And also, surprisingly, for apparently practices relating to illegal shorting or shorting of stock or something like that, the SEC imposed a $7 million fine against Citadel. $7 million only against probably would be hundreds of billions of dollars against that, but they did impose a fine. So, if I was just trying to wonder after I heard that. So is the thought process that if someone like Citadel, who makes hundreds of billions of dollars over, let's say, 5 years, if they pay a fine of $7 million, I'm sure that would be a great deterrent to that misconduct. I guess that's what the SEC believes. They believe that despite the fact there is no correlation between billions and a few million, in this case, they somehow believe that it will deter the misconduct related to shorting. I found that interesting. Not very believable. But if you believe the PRs of the SEC, they took great credit for catching the misconduct and imposing these penalties and punishment. And you have to give them credit. So what they did is they found the misconduct, they had evidence of it, and then they took direct action against those wrongdoers. Now, let's talk about the ongoing situation. So how about the situation where we have literally dozens of penalties imposed on a member over many years, but you still let them continue to operate their business? And then only after, and this is over 20, 30 years, dozens of punishments for misconduct, some of them involving misappropriations. So you let them back in. Only after they rip off more customers do you take action against them, and then you try to expel them, and you get an order for expelling them in your system of justice, quote unquote. However, because of the way your system's set up, that order is not effective, despite the fact that you found that these people are now ripping off consumers. So what do? You wait a year. Dozens of thousands of more violations occur where the public is ripped off. You don't take any action. Eventually you do. But now you're playing this jurisdictional, regulatory, protect our turf game as opposed to protect the public. And during this time when you have found, you being, you're supervising this party, you found that this particular entity, and this entity I'll refer to as Alpine, and we're referring to GTII, you've found that they're dangerous. They're ripping off the public. But as opposed to going into federal court, whether that be the SEC or Finra, tomorrow to stop that action, which you have found to harm the public, it will continue. And I'm certainly aware, more than aware, of the legal proceedings that are ongoing and the appellate proceedings. But that does not foreclose the SEC or FINRA from protecting the public. And even though I think your actions and penalties against Goldman Sachs and Citadel are BS, at least you took action. So get off your ass and take action to protect the public here. JR and I will talk about this more tonight. Anyway, so I just found the actions regarding Goldman Sachs and Citadel to be de minimis. However, they at least took action, and where they found harm caused to the public, they're just jerking around. So that's what I think. Have a great day. See you later.